Jake Morrison pressed his back against the cold metal wall of the alien ship. His heart beat fast as he looked around the huge room. Everything was wrong. The walls curved in ways that hurt his eyes. The lights were too blue and too bright. The air tasted like metal and something else he could not name. 3 hours ago, Jake had been loading cargo containers on Kepler 442b. Now he stood on a ship belonging to creatures he had never seen before. Creatures that wanted to kill him. The Velkari looked like giant lizards that learned to walk on 2 legs. They stood 8 feet tall with thick arms and legs. Their skin was dark green with black spots. Sharp teeth filled their mouths. Their eyes were yellow and cold. Commander HFY stood in the center of the room. He was the biggest of them all. His uniform was black with silver lines that meant he was important. Very important. A weapon hung from his belt. It looked like it could cut through steel. Jake was not supposed to be here. He was just a cargo hauler. He moved boxes from ships to warehouses. He fixed broken loading machines. He was nobody special. But when the real diplomats died in the first meeting, someone had to speak for the humans. That someone was Jake. The aliens had come to Kepler 442b 3 days ago. Their ships appeared in the sky like metal storms. The colony leaders tried to talk to them. They sent their best people to make peace. Those people never came back. Now Jake stood on their ship with only one other human. A girl who should not be here at all. Lisa Chen sat on the floor in the corner. She was 16 years old with long black hair and dark eyes. She wore simple clothes that were dirty from the mining colony. She looked small next to the giant aliens. But she did not look scared. Jake did not understand why she was so calm. The aliens had weapons. They had killed people. They could kill both of them without trying hard. But Lisa sat there like she was waiting for a bus. "Human," Commander HFY said. His voice was deep and rough. The translator machine turned his words into English, but it sounded wrong. Like a computer trying to be human. "Your species will surrender to the Velkari Empire. You will give us your worlds. You will give us your ships. You will give us everything." Jake tried to stand straight. His hands shook, but he did not want the aliens to see. "We want to talk. We want peace. We do not want to fight." The other Velkari in the room made sounds that might have been laughing. Commander HFY showed his teeth. "You want peace because you are weak. Your diplomats died easy. They cried like babies. They begged us not to hurt them." The words hit Jake like punches. The diplomats had been good people. They had families, children. They died trying to make peace with these creatures. "Your colony has no real weapons," the commander continued. "Your ships are slow and weak. Your people run when we come. This is not a war. This is a surrender." Jake felt anger rise in his chest. "We are not weak. We just do not want to fight if we do not have to." "All weak species say this," another Velkari said. This one wore a red uniform. His name was Captain Morduk. He was almost as big as the commander. "They say they choose peace, but they choose peace because they cannot choose war." Lisa stood up from the corner. The movement was smooth and quiet. All the aliens turned to look at her. She was so small compared to them, like a child next to giants. "You think we are weak because we do not want to fight," Lisa said. Her voice was quiet but clear. "You think our world must be safe and easy because we seem soft to you." Commander HFY looked down at her. "Your world is listed in our files as a garden world. Class 3 environment. Safe weather, safe plants, safe animals. You grew up soft because your world is soft." Lisa tilted her head. For the first time since they brought her on the ship, she smiled. It was not a happy smile. It was the kind of smile that meant someone knew something you did not. "Garden world?" she said. "Class 3? "Yes, human child. Your Earth is marked as low danger. Nothing there can truly hurt you." Lisa's smile got bigger. Jake felt something cold move down his back. He had never seen Lisa smile like that before. It made him think of hungry animals. "Your files are wrong," Lisa said. "Earth is not a garden world. Earth is the kind of place that eats the weak and spits out their bones." The Velkari looked at each other. Commander HFY's yellow eyes got smaller. "Explain." "Earth is a Class 12 death world," Lisa said. "The highest danger rating your own system has. Every plant wants to poison you. Every animal wants to eat you. The weather wants to freeze you or cook you or drown you. The ground shakes and tries to swallow you. The air itself can kill you if you breathe it wrong." Captain Morduk made a sound like growling. "Impossible. You are too small, too weak. Deathworld survivors are big and strong and covered in scars. Lisa walked forward. Her steps were quiet on the metal floor. Jake wanted to tell her to stop, to stay back. But something about the way she moved made him keep quiet. I have scars, Lisa said. You just cannot see them all. I have been bit by snakes that could drop a Valkyrie in 30 seconds. I have been sick with diseases that would cook your brain in your skull. I have lived through storms that would tear your ship apart. I have been hungry for weeks and thirsty for days and cold enough that my breath turned to ice. She stopped 3 feet from Commander Zextier. The alien was more than twice her height. His hand moved toward his weapon. And I have done all of this since I was old enough to walk, Lisa continued. Because on Earth, if you are not strong enough to survive by the time you can run, you die. Simple as that. The room was very quiet. Jake could hear the ship's engines humming. He could hear his own heart beating. He could hear the aliens breathing. Commander Zextier looked down at Lisa. His yellow eyes moved over her like he was seeing her for the first time. You lie. Check your files again, Lisa said. Look up Earth, look up Sol 3, look up Terra, whatever name you have for it. Then tell me we are weak, because we come from a safe place. The commander turned to one of his crew. The alien worked at a control panel. Lights flashed. Information appeared on screens that Jake could not read. The alien at the controls made a sound like choking. He said something fast in the Valkyrie language. Commander Zextier's eyes got wide. He said something back. Other aliens joined the conversation. Their voices got louder and faster. Jake did not understand their words, but he understood their tone. They were scared. Lisa stood perfectly still in the middle of them all. She did not move when they raised their voices. She did not step back when Captain Morduk came closer to look at her. She just waited. Finally, Commander Zextier turned back to her. The files say Earth is Class 12. Maximum danger rating. But this cannot be true. You are too small. Too young. I am 16, Lisa said. On Earth, that means I have survived 16 years of a world trying to kill me every single day. Your soldiers train for war. I was born into one. Commander Zextier stared at the information on the screen. His clawed fingers moved over the controls. More data appeared. Pictures of Earth showed blue oceans and green land. It looked peaceful. But the danger ratings were all red. Maximum level warnings covered every section. This cannot be right, Captain Morduk said. He stood behind the commander, looking over his shoulder. The planet looks safe. Like a garden world. The files do not lie, the commander said slowly. But I do not understand. How can such a beautiful world be so deadly? Lisa spoke from where she stood. Beauty on Earth means danger. The prettiest flowers are usually poisonous. The most colorful animals are the ones that can kill you fastest. We learn not to trust things just because they look nice. Jake watched the aliens work at their computers. He saw fear in their yellow eyes. These creatures had conquered dozens of worlds. They had ships that could destroy planets, but they were afraid of a 16-year-old girl. Show me proof, Commander Zextier said. He turned away from the screen and faced Lisa. Prove you are what you say you are. What kind of proof do you want? Lisa asked. The commander walked around her in a slow circle. He was looking for something. Scars maybe, or signs of the hard life she claimed to have lived. But Lisa looked normal. Young and small and human. Words are easy, the commander said. Anyone can claim to be strong. Anyone can say they survived terrible things. But proving it is different. Captain Morduk stepped forward. He was huge even for a Valkyrie. His muscles showed through his uniform. Battle scars covered his arms and face. Let me test her, Commander. Let me see how strong this Deathworld girl really is. Jake felt his stomach drop. Wait, you do not need to hurt her. She is just a kid. Just a kid who claims to come from the most dangerous world in the galaxy, Captain Morduk said. His voice was like rocks grinding together. If she speaks truth, she can prove it. If she lies, we will know soon enough. Lisa looked at Jake. Her dark eyes were calm. It's okay, Jake. Let them test me. Lisa, no. These things are killers. They will hurt you. They can try, Lisa said. She turned back to Captain Morduk. What kind of test did you have in mind? The captain smiled. His teeth were like knives. A simple test. I will attack you. You will defend yourself. We will see if a Deathworld survivor can fight like one. Other Valkyrie moved back to give them space. They formed a circle around Lisa and the captain. Some of them made sounds like excited animals. They wanted to see blood. Jake started to step forward, but Commander HFY blocked his way. The alien was too big to get around, too strong to push past. "This is her choice," the commander said. "If she is truly from a Deathworld, she should be able to handle one warrior." Captain Morduk reached to his belt. He pulled out 2 curved blades. They were black metal with edges that glowed blue. Energy weapons. They could cut through armor like paper. "These are Velkari war claws," the captain said. He strapped them to his hands. The blades stuck out past his fingers like animal claws. They can slice through steel. They can cut bone like soft wood. They have spilled the blood of 1,000 enemies. Lisa watched him put on the weapons. She did not look scared. She did not back away. She just stood there with her hands at her sides. "Do you have a weapon, human?" Captain Morduk asked. "No," Lisa said. "Do you want a weapon?" "No," the captain tilted his head. "You will fight me with nothing? No blade, no gun, no armor?" "I do not need any of those things." The other Velkari made more excited sounds. This was better than they hoped. A weaponless human girl against their strongest warrior. It would be over in seconds. Jake tried again to get past Commander HFY. "Stop this. She cannot fight him. Look at the size difference." "If she cannot fight, she should not have claimed to be strong," the commander said. "Deathworld survivors do not make claims they cannot back up." Captain Morduk activated his energy claws. The blue glow got brighter. The air around the blades shimmered with heat. He held them up so Lisa could see. "Last chance, human. Take a weapon. Fight with honor. Do not make this too easy." Lisa shook her head. "I told you. I do not need a weapon." "Then you will die quickly," the captain said. He crouched down low, his legs bent like springs ready to jump. His claws hummed with energy. His yellow eyes focused on Lisa's throat. Lisa did not crouch. She did not raise her hands. She did not even turn her body to face him better. She just stood there like she was waiting for something boring to be over. "Begin," Commander HFY said. Captain Morduk launched himself forward, 400 pounds of muscle and bone moving at full speed. His claws came up to strike. The blue energy left trails in the air. Jake opened his mouth to scream a warning. The other aliens leaned forward to watch the kill. But Lisa did not move. She did not duck or dodge or jump away. She did not raise her arms to block. She did not close her eyes or turn her head. She stood exactly where she was and looked straight at the charging warrior. The captain covered half the distance in 1 second. His claws were aimed at her neck. At this speed, they would cut her head clean off. The alien started to cheer. Lisa still did not move. She kept her eyes on Captain Morduk's face, not on his claws, not on his massive body, on his eyes, like she was having a conversation with him instead of being attacked. The captain covered 3/4 of the distance. His claws were 3 feet from her throat. Any normal person would be screaming, running, begging for help. Lisa just stood there. Jake saw something change in Captain Morduk's eyes. The excitement was still there, but something else appeared. Something that looked like confusion or worry. The captain was 1 foot away, then 6 inches. His claws could almost touch her skin, and then he stopped. The huge alien skidded on the metal floor. His claws stopped so close to Lisa's neck that Jake could see the blue energy reflecting off her skin. But they did not touch her. Captain Morduk stood there breathing hard. His yellow eyes were wide. He looked down at the small human girl who had not moved even when death was rushing at her. Lisa looked back at him. Her breathing had not changed. Her heart rate seemed normal. She might have been looking at a bug on the wall instead of a warrior who almost killed her. "Why did you stop?" she asked. Her voice was quiet and curious. Captain Morduk did not answer right away. He was still staring at her. His claws stayed where they were, just inches from her throat. The other aliens were quiet now. No more cheering. No more excited sounds. They all watched their strongest warrior freeze in the middle of an attack. "You did not move," Captain Morduk said finally. "No," Lisa said. "I did not. You did not even blink. No, you were not afraid." Lisa tilted her head like she was thinking about it. "Should I have been?" Captain Morduk slowly lowered his claws. The blue glow faded as he turned off the energy. "You should have been terrified. You should have run. You should have screamed." "Why?" Lisa asked. "Because I was going to kill you. Were you?" The question hung in the air like smoke. Captain Morduk looked at his own hands. At the weapons strapped to them. At the girl standing calmly in front of him. "I do not know," he said. Commander HFY pushed past Jake and walked over to them. His face showed anger and confusion. "Captain, explain yourself. Why did you stop the attack?" Captain Morduk turned to face his commander. When he spoke, his voice was different, quieter, more careful. "Something is wrong with this human," he said. "Wrong how?" "She smells wrong. She feels wrong. When I looked at her, every instinct I have told me to stop. That is impossible. She is a small female. Weak. Helpless." "Look at her eyes, Commander," Captain Morduk said. "Tell me what you see." Commander HFY stared down at Lisa. She looked back at him with the same calm expression. No fear, no anger, no excitement. "Just patience. I see a human child," the commander said. "Look closer." The commander bent down until his face was level with Lisa's. His yellow eyes met her dark ones. They stared at each other for a long moment. When the commander stood back up, his expression had changed. The anger was gone. In its place was something that might have been respect. "Or fear? Captain Morduk," he said slowly. "Report to the medical bay. Have them check your systems for malfunction." "Sir, there is no malfunction. This human is not what she appears to be." "That is impossible," Lisa spoke up. "Is it?" Both aliens turned to look at her. She had not moved from where she stood, had not even turned her head, but somehow she had become the center of attention again. "You keep saying things are impossible," Lisa continued. "But here I am, a 16-year-old girl from Earth, standing on your ship, not afraid of your weapons or your warriors or your threats. Maybe it is time to ask why that is impossible. Or maybe it is time to accept that you do not understand humans as well as you think you do." The silence on the bridge stretched like a tight wire. Jake could hear his own heartbeat in his ears. The Valkyrie stood frozen, staring at Lisa like she had just turned into something else in front of them. Captain Morduk took a step backward, then another. His huge hands shook as he removed the energy claws and put them back on his belt. The weapons that had been inches from Lisa's throat now seemed to burn his fingers. "Commander," the captain said. His voice was rough and low. "Request permission to speak privately." "Denied," Commander HFY said. His yellow eyes never left Lisa's face. "Speak now." In front of everyone, Captain Morduk looked around the bridge at the other Valkyrie. They all watched him with confusion and growing fear. A warrior who stopped in the middle of an attack was something they had never seen before. "This human carries the scent," the captain said. "What scent?" the commander demanded. "The death scent. The smell of a true survivor. I have only smelled it twice before in my life. Once on the battlefields of Korvax Prime, where 10 million soldiers died in a single day. Once in the hunting grounds of Zerion, where only the strongest predators live past their first year." The other aliens started talking among themselves in their own language. Their voices were quick and worried. Jake caught a few words through the translator. "Impossible. Too young. Cannot be." Lisa finally moved. She took one small step to the side so she could see all the aliens in the room. The movement was smooth and quiet, but every Valkyrie tensed like she had drawn a weapon. "Your captain knows what he smells," Lisa said. "Earth leaves a mark on everything that survives there. A scent that says this one has faced death and won." "You are a child," Commander HFY said. But his voice was less certain now. "Children do not carry that scent." "Earth children do," Lisa said. "Because Earth does not care how old you are. It will try to kill you on the day you are born. If you live long enough to walk, it will try harder. If you live long enough to run, it will try its best. And if you live long enough to think and plan and fight back, then you have earned the right to be called a survivor." Jake watched the aliens' faces change as Lisa spoke. The confidence was draining out of them like water from a broken cup. These creatures had conquered worlds, but they were starting to understand that they had never met anything like a human before. "Explain this death scent," the commander said. Captain Morduk answered instead of Lisa. "On my homeworld, we have great hunting beasts called Vrex. They are 12 feet tall with claws like swords and teeth like spears. They can smell fear from miles away. They can smell weakness. They can smell prey." He paused and looked at Lisa again. She looked back at him without blinking. "But they can also smell death," the captain continued. "Not the dead, the dying, not the victims, the killers, the ones who have taken life and lived in places where death is common. When a Vrek smells that scent, it does not attack. It backs away. It knows it has found something more dangerous than itself. That is impossible, another Velkari said. This one wore a blue uniform with science markings. Humans are prey species. They have no natural weapons. No claws or fangs or armor. They are soft and weak. Lisa smiled at that. The same cold smile she had worn before. Soft and weak? Let me tell you about Earth weapons, science officer. She held up her hands. They looked normal. Small and pale with short nails. Nothing threatening about them at all. These hands have strangled a python that was trying to eat me. The snake was 20 feet long and weighed more than Captain Morduck. It wrapped around my body and started to squeeze. I strangled it with my bare hands until it let me go. She pointed to her mouth. Her teeth were small and flat. Nothing like the sharp fangs of the Velkari. These teeth have eaten meat from animals I killed myself when I was lost in the wilderness for 3 weeks. I had no tools. No weapons, no fire. I used rocks and sticks in my bare hands to hunt. I ate what I caught raw because cooked food was a luxury I could not afford. She touched her chest where her heart was. This heart has kept beating when I had a fever of 107 degrees. That is hot enough to cook your brain. Most species would die at 104. I stayed awake and aware and kept moving because stopping meant dying. The science officer made a sound like choking. 107 degrees? That is impossible. Cellular damage occurs at 105. Not on Earth, Lisa said. On Earth, your cells learn to survive what would kill cells from other worlds. Or you die and get replaced by someone whose cells can handle it. Jake stared at Lisa. He had known she was from Earth, but he had never heard these stories before. The calm way she told them made them even more frightening. This is not possible, Commander Zexthai said, but he was backing away from Lisa now. His hand moved toward his weapon without him seeming to notice. Your files say Earth is a Class 12 Deathworld, Lisa said. What do you think that means? High danger environment, the science officer said. Severe weather patterns, dangerous flora and fauna, hostile atmospheric conditions. That is just the beginning, Lisa said. Earth is not just dangerous. Earth is designed to kill. Every system on the planet works together to eliminate the weak and strengthen the strong. The weather does not just threaten you. It teaches you to survive anything. The animals do not just hunt you. They teach you to be a better hunter. The plants do not just poison you. They teach you to tell medicine from death by sight and smell. She walked forward. Every alien in the room tensed. Some reached for weapons. Others backed toward the exits. I have survived 6 different poisons before my 10th birthday, Lisa continued. 3 from plants. 2 from animals. 1 from a disease that killed half my city. My body learned to process toxins that would shut down your organs in minutes. Captain Morduck made a deep sound in his throat. The scent is getting stronger. Being near her makes my skin crawl. I have been struck by lightning twice, Lisa said. Electricity from the sky that could power this ship. It knocked me down, but it did not kill me. My nervous system adapted to handle more electrical damage than should be possible. This cannot be real, the science officer said. The energy required to survive lightning strikes would damage the brain permanently. My brain works fine, Lisa said. It just works differently than yours. It processes pain as information instead of distress. It treats danger as a puzzle to solve instead of a reason to panic. It sees death as a challenge to overcome instead of an end to fear. Commander Zexthai was pressed against the far wall now. His weapon was in his hand, but he did not raise it. What are you? I am human, Lisa said simply. This is what humans become when they grow up on a world that never stops trying to kill them. We do not get stronger or faster or tougher than other species. We get something better. We get unbreakable. Jake watched the most powerful aliens in the galaxy cower before a teenage girl. She had not threatened them. She had not shown any weapons. She had just told them the truth about what Earth was like. And that truth was more terrifying than any weapon. Every human from Earth carries this scent, Captain Morduck asked. Every human who lived to adulthood, Lisa said. The ones who die young do not get the chance to develop it. But the ones who survive carry it for life. It marks us as apex predators in an ecosystem where everything else is also trying to be apex predators. How many humans are there? The science officer asked. His voice was very quiet. On Earth? About 8 billion. The number hit the bridge like a physical blow. 8 billion survivors from the deadliest world in known space. 8 billion creatures that carried the scent of death and had earned the right to call themselves unbreakable. And in the colonies? Commander Zexthai asked. Another 2 billion spread across 40 worlds, most of them second or third generation, so they do not carry the full scent. But their parents do. And their grandparents definitely do. Lisa stopped walking. She was now in the center of the bridge, surrounded by armed aliens who were all afraid to get close to her. You came here expecting to conquer a weak species from a garden world, she said. Instead, you found the children of the most dangerous planet in the galaxy. Children who learn to laugh at death before they learn to walk. Children who think your weapons and your threats and your warriors are just another day ending in Y. Captain Morduke made that deep sound again. Commander, we need to leave, now, before more of them arrive. More? The commander asked. She said there are colonies, the captain said. Colonies with billions of these death-scent carriers. And if even one of them sends a message to Earth... He did not finish the sentence. He did not need to. Everyone on the bridge could imagine what would happen if 8 billion apex predators decided that the Velkari Empire was a threat to their children. Lisa smiled that cold smile again. Too late for that, Captain. We sent a message to Earth as soon as your ships appeared. They should be getting it right about now. The bridge exploded into panicked conversation. Aliens ran to control stations. Alert signals started blaring. Commander Zexthai shouted orders in his own language. Through it all, Lisa stood perfectly still in the center of the chaos. Jake realized that she had never been the prisoner here. From the moment she stepped onto this ship, she had been the predator, and all these armed, trained, dangerous aliens had been her prey. They just had not realized it until now. Jake grabbed Lisa's arm as the aliens ran around the bridge in panic. What message? He whispered. What did you send to Earth? Lisa looked at him with those calm, dark eyes. I did not send anything, Jake, but they do not know that. You lied to them? I gave them something to think about, something to make them realize that conquering humans might not be as easy as they thought. Commander Zexthai finished shouting orders and turned back to them. His yellow eyes were wild with fear and anger. Human female, explain this message you claim to have sent. You want to know about the message? Lisa asked. Or do you want to know why you should be afraid of it? Both, now. Lisa walked over to one of the viewing windows. Space stretched out beyond it, black and cold and full of distant stars. She looked out at it like she was seeing something the others could not. Jake, she said without turning around. Tell them about Earth wildlife. Jake blinked in confusion. What? You studied biology before you became a cargo hauler. Tell them about Earth animals. Jake looked around at the aliens. They were all listening now, waiting. He cleared his throat and tried to remember his old school lessons. Earth has a lot of different animals, he said slowly, big ones and small ones. Predators and prey, some that live in water and some that live on land and some that fly. Tell them about the dangerous ones, Lisa said. Well, there are lions and tigers and bears, sharks in the ocean, poisonous snakes and spiders, some birds that can kill you with their claws. Captain Morduke made a sound like laughing. This is normal for any world. We have dangerous animals on Velkari Prime too. Lisa turned away from the window. Jake, tell them how many species of venomous snakes live on Earth. Jake thought about it. I do not know exactly. Maybe 3,000? 3,812, Lisa said. And that is just snakes. There are also 700 species of venomous spiders, 430 poisonous frogs, 62 species of toxic fish, 41 venomous mammals, and over 8,000 plants that can kill you if you eat them. The science officer was working at his computer again. This cannot be accurate. Check your files, Lisa said. But be ready for what you find. Numbers started appearing on the alien screens. Charts and graphs and lists of data. The science officer's face went pale as he read. Confirmed, he said in a shaky voice. Earth fauna and flora show extreme toxicity levels. Some specimens show lethality ratings beyond known scales. Now tell them about Earth weather, Lisa said to Jake. It gets hot and cold. It rains sometimes. There are storms. Jake, tell them about Hurricane Sarah, the one that hit Florida when I was 12. Jake remembered that storm. It had been on the news for weeks. It was a big hurricane. Category 5, winds over 200 miles per hour. It destroyed whole cities. I was in that storm, Lisa said. My family was visiting relatives in Miami when it hit. We rode it out in a shelter that was supposed to be safe. The roof came off halfway through the night. We spent 6 hours with Category 5 hurricane winds trying to pull us into the sky. Commander HFY stared at her. You survived winds of 200 miles per hour? I survived the hurricane. And the 3 days after when we had no food or clean water, and the 2 weeks after that when we walked out of the disaster zone, because no rescue was coming. Captain Morduk was backing away from her again. The scent is getting stronger again. How is that possible? Because I am remembering, Lisa said. When I remember the dangerous times, the scent gets stronger. Earth survivors learn to use their memories as weapons. She looked around the bridge at all the frightened aliens. You want to know what makes a death world different from a normal world? It is not just that dangerous things exist. Dangerous things exist everywhere. It is that dangerous things are normal. Lisa walked to another part of the bridge. The aliens moved out of her way like water flowing around a rock. On a normal world, getting bit by a venomous animal is a rare emergency. On Earth, it is Tuesday. On a normal world, surviving extreme weather is a heroic story. On Earth, it is called summer or winter depending on where you live. This is impossible, the science officer said. No species could evolve in such conditions. Most do not, Lisa agreed. Earth has had 5 mass extinction events, times when almost everything alive died all at once. Most worlds never have even one. But life on Earth is used to starting over, used to adapting or dying, used to becoming stronger or being replaced by something that is. Jake was starting to understand something that scared him. Lisa, how many times have you almost died? Lisa tilted her head like she was counting. Almost died? Or actually died and got brought back? What? I have had my heart stop 3 times. Twice from poison and once from drowning. But they got it started again, so I do not think those count as real deaths. The aliens made sounds of shock and fear. Heart stopping and starting again was not normal for any species they knew. I have almost died. Lisa paused to think. Maybe 200 times? 300? It is hard to count because on Earth, the line between almost died and had a normal day is pretty thin. Give them examples, Jake said. He was not sure why he wanted to hear this, but he felt like he needed to understand. When I was 5, I got lost in the Amazon rainforest for 4 days. Ate poisonous berries on day 2 because I was hungry. My body fought off the poison and I learned which berries were safe. When I was 7, I fell through ice into a frozen lake. Water was so cold it stopped my heart. But I got out and warmed up and my heart started again. She continued walking around the bridge as she talked. Every step made the aliens more nervous. When I was 9, I got bit by a coral snake. That is one of the most venomous snakes on Earth. I was alone in the woods, so I had to walk 5 miles to get help while the poison was shutting down my nervous system. I made it to the hospital with about 10 minutes to spare. Captain Morduk was pressed against the wall now. How are you still alive? Because dying is easy, Lisa said. Staying alive is hard. Earth teaches you to choose the hard thing every time, not because you want to, but because the alternative is death. When I was 11, a tsunami hit the island where we were vacationing. I spent 18 hours clinging to debris in the ocean, while 20-foot waves tried to drown me. Sharks in the water, no food or fresh water, cuts all over my body from sharp metal. The science officer looked up from his computer. Tsunami survivors typically show severe psychological trauma. I do not have trauma, Lisa said. I have experience. There is a difference. When I was 13, I got caught in a forest fire, ran for 6 hours through burning woods with the fire chasing me, breathed so much smoke that my lungs were black for months. But I got out. Commander HFY found his voice. How do you not have fear? Lisa stopped walking and looked directly at him. I do have fear. Fear keeps you alive on Earth. But I do not have the kind of fear that makes you freeze up or run away or cry for help. I have the kind of fear that makes you think faster and move better and stay calm when death is looking at you. When I was 14, I got trapped in a collapsed building during an earthquake. Spent 3 days in total darkness with a broken leg and no food. Had to dig my way out with my bare hands. Took me 36 hours to move enough rubble to squeeze through. Jake felt sick listening to these stories. Lisa, why did you not tell me any of this before? Because it is normal, Lisa said. Every human from Earth has stories like this. Maybe not exactly the same, but close enough. We do not talk about them because they are not special. They are just life. When I was 15, I got caught in an avalanche while skiing in the Alps. Buried under 12 feet of snow for 4 hours. The cold should have killed me in the first hour. Lack of oxygen should have finished the job in the second hour. But I stayed calm and conserved air and body heat until the rescue team found me. Captain Morduk made that deep growling sound again. You are not human. Humans cannot survive these things. Garden World humans cannot, Lisa agreed. But Deathworld humans are different. We are what humans become when their world refuses to let them be weak. She walked back to the center of the bridge. And here is the most important thing about Earth survivors. We do not just learn to survive dangerous things. We learn to survive impossible things. Things that should kill us but do not. And after enough impossible survivals, we stop believing that anything can actually kill us. That is why I did not move when your captain charged me with energy claws. Not because I was brave. Not because I had a plan. But because I have stared at death so many times that it has become boring. Just another Tuesday on Earth. The bridge was completely silent now. Even the computer system seemed quieter. Every alien stared at Lisa like she was something from their worst nightmares. And if you think one teenage girl from Earth is scary, Lisa said with that cold smile, wait until you meet an adult. Commander Zexthai stood frozen against the wall of his own bridge. His weapon was in his hand, but it felt heavy and useless. For the first time in his long military career, he was truly afraid. Not afraid of dying. He had faced death many times in battle. Not afraid of losing. He had lost battles before and lived to fight again. He was afraid of something much worse. He was afraid he had made a mistake that would destroy his entire species. Human female, he said slowly. You spoke of adults, explain. Lisa tilted her head. What do you want to know about Earth adults? Are they more dangerous than you? Much more dangerous, Lisa said. I am still learning. Still growing. Still making mistakes that could get me killed. Adults from Earth have finished learning. They have survived long enough to master the art of staying alive on a death world. The science officer looked up from his computer. Commander, I am reading the population data again. 8 billion humans on Earth, but the age distribution is unusual. Unusual how? Most species have population pyramids. Many young, fewer adults, very few elderly. Earth humans show almost even distribution across all age groups. That means their survival rate is much higher than it should be, Captain Morduk finished. Not just the strong survive. Almost everyone survives. Not everyone, Lisa corrected, but most of us. Because Earth does not just make the strong stronger, it makes everyone stronger. Even the weak ones learn to survive things that would kill normal people. Commander Zexthai tried to process this information. You are saying that even the weakest humans are dangerous? I am saying that there are no weak humans from Earth. Weak ones die before they reach adulthood. The ones who live are all survivors by definition. Jake was staring at Lisa like he had never seen her before. Lisa, you are talking about billions of people like you. Not like me, Lisa said. Better than me. Older than me. More experienced than me. I am 16 years old and I have almost died maybe 300 times. My grandmother is 84 and she has almost died thousands of times. She has survived plagues and wars and natural disasters and accidents and attacks by wild animals. She has buried 3 husbands who died of old age while she kept going. The aliens exchanged terrified looks. An 84-year-old who had survived thousands of near-death experiences was not something their military training had prepared them for. My grandfather fought in 3 wars before he was 25, Lisa continued. He was shot 17 times, blown up twice, and poisoned once. He lived to be 92 and died peacefully in his sleep. That is what Earth humans consider a normal life. This cannot be real, the science officer said, but his voice was weak and shaky. It is not just real, Lisa said. It is normal. And here is what you need to understand about normal Earth humans. We do not think we are special. We do not think we are heroes. We think we are just people doing what people do to stay alive. She took a step forward. Every alien on the bridge tensed like she had drawn a weapon. You came to our colonies expecting to find soft, weak creatures from a garden world. Instead, you found the children and grandchildren of the most successful survivors in galactic history. People who think your threats are funny because we have heard worse from our own planet every day of our lives. Another step forward. Commander Zexthai pressed himself harder against the wall. You killed our diplomats and expected us to surrender in fear. But those diplomats were from garden worlds. Colony worlds. Soft worlds. They were not from Earth. If you had killed Earth diplomats, you would have gotten a very different reaction. What reaction? The commander asked. Earth diplomats do not surrender, Lisa said. They negotiate from a position of strength even when they are unarmed and outnumbered. Because they know that behind them stand 8 billion people. who have spent their entire lives learning how to kill things that are trying to kill them. Captain Morduk made a sound like whimpering. The scent is everywhere now. It fills the whole bridge. That is because I am not trying to hide it anymore, Lisa said. When Earth humans are calm and happy, we smell normal. When we start thinking about survival and death and fighting, the scent comes out. Your captain can smell it because his species evolved as hunters. He knows the smell of apex predators. She took another step forward. Now she was within arm's reach of Commander Zexthai. The huge alien looked down at her like she was a bomb about to explode. Commander, Lisa said quietly, let me explain something to you about Earth military doctrine. Your species has military doctrine. We have been at war with our own planet for millions of years. Of course we have military doctrine. And the first rule of Earth military thinking is this. If you are not strong enough to take on the whole planet by yourself, you are not strong enough to protect the people you care about. The commander's yellow eyes went wide. That is impossible. No individual can fight a planet. No individual can fight Earth and win, Lisa agreed. But Earth humans do not try to win against the planet. We try to survive it. And surviving Earth means being ready for anything the universe can throw at you. She looked around the bridge at all the terrified aliens. Your empire conquers species that never had to fight for their lives. Species that developed technology and civilization on worlds that were safe and predictable. You have never tried to conquer a species that had to fight for survival every single day. What would happen if we tried? The science officer asked. You would lose, Lisa said simply. Not because we are stronger or faster or smarter than you, but because we are unbreakable. And unbreakable things do not surrender. They do not give up. They do not stop fighting until the threat is gone. Commander Zexthai felt something cold settle in his stomach. You are saying humans would fight to extinction rather than surrender? I am saying humans would fight until you were extinct, Lisa said. Because we do not know how to give up. Earth never taught us that giving up was an option. She took one final step forward. Now she was close enough to touch the commander. Close enough that he could feel her breath on his armor. But here is the thing, Commander. We do not want to fight you. Fighting is messy and expensive and people get hurt. We would much rather be friends. We would rather trade with you and learn from you and share the galaxy with you. Why? The commander asked. Because we are not monsters, Lisa said. We are survivors. And survivors know the difference between enemies and potential allies. We know the difference between threats and opportunities. She smiled, but this time it was not the cold predator smile. This time it looked almost warm. You made a mistake coming here with weapons and threats. But mistakes can be fixed. You can choose to see us as the terrifying Deathworld survivors we are, or you can choose to see us as the ultimate allies. People who will never betray you, never abandon you, and never give up on you. Commander Zexthai stared down at her. This small human female who had just described 8 billion apex predators disguised as normal people. This child who spoke of survival and death and unbreakable spirits like other people, talked about the weather. What do you want from us? He asked. Respect, Lisa said. Recognition that we are not prey. Recognition that we are not weak. Recognition that attacking human worlds is not conquest, it is suicide. The commander looked around his bridge, at his crew who were all pressed against the walls in terror, at his weapons that suddenly seemed pitiful against creatures who had survived thousands of near-death experiences, at his ship that felt small and fragile compared to a species that called a Class 12 Deathworld home. Slowly, carefully, he took his weapon from his belt. Lisa watched him without moving, without flinching, without showing any sign of fear. Commander Zexthai set the weapon on the floor and pushed it away from him. Then, even more slowly, he lowered himself to one knee. The Velkari Empire recognizes the sovereignty of the human species, he said formally. We request an alliance, a partnership. We offer our friendship and our protection in exchange for yours. Lisa looked down at the kneeling alien commander, 8 feet tall, 400 pounds of muscle and bone and deadly training, the most powerful military leader in this sector of space, on his knees before a 16-year-old girl from Earth. That is a good choice, Commander, she said quietly. We make much better friends than enemies. Jake stared at the scene in front of him. A cargo hauler from a mining colony. He had never imagined he would see the day when the galaxy's most feared military force would surrender to humanity. But as he looked at Lisa standing calmly over the kneeling alien, he began to understand something important. This was not really a surrender. This was recognition. recognition of what humans truly were beneath their soft appearance and peaceful words. They were the children of Earth, the survivors of the most dangerous world in known space. The living proof that unbreakable things did exist in the universe, and now the galaxy knew it too. "Commander," Lisa said, "you can stand up now. We have a lot to discuss."